Hi guys, and welcome to day 20 of our 28 days of Yoga with Kirstie. Today's session is Vinyasa flow for the hips. So we are going to be focusing on opening up the hips, stretching, strengthening, releasing, whatever you can think of. There's a bit of everything in here. So there are some movements that we might not have done before, and there are definitely some movements that we have done before as well. So there's a bit of comfort for those that might need it today. So listen to your body, go at your own pace, don't force yourself into anything that doesn't feel quite right today. Hips are a very often tight area for a lot of people because we do tend to spend a lot of time sitting on our bottoms, and as a result we're in that position where hips only really get a certain kind of stretch. We're not used to stretching our hips in our day-to-day life. So there's a lot of tension that tends to be held there, as well as stress tension too. So we're going to do our best to try and relieve some of that today. It's one of my favorite areas to work on, so I hope you enjoy it as well. So grab your water, lay out your mats, wear your comfy clothes, take your time, get warm, and if you need to take a rest, take a rest. If you want to throw more stuff in, please feel free to. Make this practice what you need it to be today. But when you're ready, let's get ready to flow in our Vinyasa flow for hips today. Okay guys, so we're going to start moving quite quickly. So let's head towards the top of our mats today. I'd like your feet to be about hip width wide. So slight micro bend in the knees. We're going to take a few clearing breaths at the top of our mats. So maybe close the eyes, shoulders back and down, and just breathe. So breathing in through the nose, filling up the balloon in your bellies, and gently releasing. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm just going to take a few more like this before we introduce some more clearing of the breath. So nice deep inhales and long slow exhales, maybe through the nose or out through the mouth if you fancy today. Good. Okay, so when you're ready to take a nice big inhale, let's squeeze those shoulders all the way up towards our ears. And as we exhale, we drop it away with a sigh. Good, inhale. One more. Good, okay. So slowly blinking those eyes open when you're ready to. As you inhale, scoop arms out towards the side and all the way up towards the ceiling, looking to the fingertips. As you exhale, prayer hands or swan dive, folding forwards, reaching all the way down towards the ground. Take a moment to walk it out here, breathing in, breathing out, and feeling the backs of the legs warming up today. So feel free to keep as much of a bend in those knees as you need to, but try and transfer the weight over towards the toes so you really feel the stretch along the back of the legs. Good, 2 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. As you next inhale, hands to shins, find your flat back today. As you exhale, fold forwards, hands to the mat. We're going to keep the left foot where it is and step back with the right leg. Good. As we exhale, lower the right knee down to the mat, untuck the toes, and inhale, lift the hands up overhead as you come to a low lunge. Really sink those hips down. Good. Maybe hands either come together in prayer, or we make a little gun position with the index fingers pointing up and the thumbs crossing over one another, our Kali Mudra. And we're just going to come into a little bit of a back bend. Good. Inhale, rise up nice and tall. Exhale, frame that front foot. Tuck the back toes under as we step the left foot to join the right foot at the back of the mat in our plank. Option to lower knees here. As you exhale, lower through your chaturanga. Option to hover. And inhale to your back bend of choice this morning. Take a few breaths here, breathing in, breathing out. Good. As you exhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest and sink all the way back to your downward facing dog. So just hanging out here, walking it out a few breaths if you need to. I'm just going to adjust my microphone, so stay in your down dog for me. Good. So still breathing in, breathing out any wiggles that you're needing to do for 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, when you're ready, come to stillness. Inhale, bend into those knees, look towards the fingertips. Keep the left leg at the back of the mat and step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left knee down to the mat as you exhale and tuck the toes. Inhale, hands up overhead, looking to the fingertips. Option to stay here and just sink those hips down. Hands either in prayer or our mudra again, so index fingers pointing up, crossing the thumbs over each other, and exhale to a slight back bend. Good. Inhale, rise up nice and tall. Exhale, frame the front foot, tuck the left toes under and step the left foot to the top of the mat, coming to a forward fold. Walking it out here again. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling those legs warm up a little bit more with every breath we're taking. Good. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, hands to shins, find your flat backs. Exhale, fold forwards, hands to the mat, and inhale, rise nice and tall. Hands up overhead, looking to fingertips. And exhale, lower hands through heart center in prayer. Release hands either side of the hips. Take a nice deep breath in. And sigh out. Good, let's go again. Inhale, scoop hands up. Looking to fingertips. Exhale, prayer hands, swan dive. Down to the mat we go. Walk it out here for a few breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice. Okay. As you next inhale, come to your flat back. Exhale, we fold forwards. Keep the right foot planted, step back with the left leg. Option to lower knee down or keep the knee lifted. As we inhale, rise up nice and tall to our lunge again. Good. Option to have hands together in prayer or come to our mudra again. Index fingers pointing up, crossing the thumbs. Exhale to your back bend. Inhale, rise nice and tall. Exhale, frame the front foot, step the right foot to the back of the mat, coming to plank. Option to lower the knees down. As we exhale, lower through chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, chin to chest, all the way back to down dog again. Walking it out here, nice deep breaths. In and out. Good. So typically in our down dog, the feet are about hip width wide. We're staring towards those toes or between the feet all the way to the back of the mat. We could walk it out here. We could find stillness, really pushing those hands into the mat, especially the fingertips. And we're almost trying to hug the belly in towards the spine a little bit here to really send that tailbone high and support the back. Good. Okay, as you next inhale, come back to stillness. Bend into the knees, look to the fingertips. We're going to keep the right foot at the back of the mat and step forwards with the left foot. Good. Option to lower the back knee down again. As we inhale, we're rising nice and tall. Option to come in prayer hands or our mudra. And exhale to your back bend if you fancy. Inhale, rise nice and tall. Exhale, frame that front foot, step the back foot to the top of the mat, coming to forward fold. Any movements you need to do here, please feel free to. But if you're happy keeping still, let's keep still. But again, weights transferred towards those toes. So you're really feeling it in the back of the legs. One more breath. Good. As you inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards, hands to the mat. And inhale, rise nice and tall. Hands up overhead, looking to fingertips. And exhale, hands through heart center in prayer. Release hands either side of the hips. Take a nice deep breath in. And sigh out. Good. Inhale, hands up overhead, looking to fingertips. Exhale, prayer hands, swan dive, down to the ground you go. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forward, step, hop, or jump back to plank. Good. Exhale, lower through chaturanga. Hover if you like. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, chin to chest, all the way back to your down dog. Breathing in, breathing out again. Any movements that your body's needing from you in your down dog, let's do that. Waking up the body how your body needs you to. If you just want stillness, that's fine, as it always is. One more breath. And when you're ready to inhale, bend into the knees, look to the fingertips, step, hop, or jump the feet to the hands. And inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, we fold forwards, hands to the ground, and inhale, rise nice and tall. Hands up overhead, looking to fingertips. And exhale, hands through heart center in prayer. Release either side of the hips. Nice big breath in. And sigh it out. Good. Okay, so when you're ready to, we're going to inhale, scoop hands up overhead and sink back into our chair pose. Hands can lower down to heart center, or you can reach straight ahead if you'd rather with the hands. 3 options for arm placement today. So just take a moment to check in with those legs for me, the knees, make sure they're stacked over the second or third toe. And the feet could be about hip width wide or big toes touching. So see where you've naturally gone to and maybe just stay there for today. Good. As we next inhale, I'd like you to twist to look over the left shoulder, trying to not sink the right knee forwards as we're twisting. Good. As you exhale, I'd like to take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Twist to look up to the ceiling, pushing those hands together to help you maneuver. One more breath. Inhale all the way back to center. As you next breathe in, twist to look over the right. Careful the left knee doesn't twist forwards. Good. As you exhale, left elbow outside of the right knee. Pushing the hands together to help you to look over towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale all the way back to center. Hold it here. We're going to twist to look over towards the left again. Elbow to the outside of the knee, twisting up towards the ceiling. What we want to do here is try to take the right heel up off the mat. If you can, see if you can peel the right foot up off the mat and then step back to a lunge. Good. As you inhale, twisting the torso all the way to the top of the mat, coming to a normal lunging position. And then scoop the hands up overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. As we exhale, pivoting on the back foot and allow the hands to open up to our warrior 2. So left hand to the top of the mat, right hand to the back. Breathing in, breathing out. That front knee is feeling like it's peeling out towards the baby toe. Good. Exhale, back hand to the back leg. Scoop the front hand up and over, reverse warrior. Good. Inhale all the way back to warrior 2. From here, we're pivoting on the back foot so the toes point to the top of the mat. Hands to heart center in prayer. I'd like you to transfer the weight towards that left foot and see if you can take the weight out of the back right foot, coming to a warrior 3. Hands can stay in prayer. We can reach them straight ahead. We can reach them behind. As we exhale, bend through the back knee, bring it all the way to the top of the mat. And slowly lower it down and walk it out. Take a nice big breath in. And sigh out if you fancy. Good. Okay, when you're ready, we're coming back to chair pose just for a moment or 2. So hands up overhead. And exhale, sink into chair. Hands to heart center when you're ready. As you next breathe in, twist to the right. Left elbow outside of the right knee. Twisting into it again. Peeling the left heel up off the mat. And then see if you can slowly peel the foot up off the mat too, before sending the foot to the back of the mat. Good. As you inhale, torso twist to the top. Hands up overhead. Good. Nice. Exhale, pivot on the back foot. And the right arm comes to the top, left hand to the back. Adjust the legs as much as you need to. So if you're like me, you might have taken a really wide stance there as you step back. So do adjust it. Gaze towards the middle finger on the front right hand. Check the front right knee is pointing out towards the baby toe. One more breath. Good. Exhale, back hand to the back leg. Scoop the front arm up and over, reverse warrior. Good. Inhale all the way back to warrior 2. Hands come back to heart center as we pivot the back toes pointing to the top of the mat. Transfer the weight to the right foot as we peel the left leg up off the ground. Hands can stay in prayer. We can reach them ahead. We can reach them behind. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. As you next exhale, bend into the back knee. Bring it all the way to the top of the mat. Hands to heart center in prayer. And exhale, lower the foot down. Walk it out. So breathing in and breathing out. Maybe the next exhale is a big sigh. Good, okay. Left knee lifts up and we're going to step it towards the back of the mat so we twist to face towards the left side of our mat. If you need to switch around so you can see me, please feel free to. So we're going to start in goddess here. Turning the toes towards the corners of our mat or just out 45 degrees if you don't have a mat to point to. As you exhale, maybe we have the hands on the legs as we bend into those knees, or we reach arms out to the side, coming to our cactus arms. Breathing in, And sighing out. Good. Good, one more. Nice. As we inhale, hands reach up overhead, straighten through those legs. Exhale, bend through the knees. Inhale, we lift up. Good. So we're just going to do a few like this. Maybe sigh out as you reach the bottom. One more. Good. Come all the way back to your goddess pose. 2 breaths. Any wiggles you need to find, let's find them. Good. As we inhale, lengthen through the legs. And turn the toes to point towards the inside now. So we're pigeon-toeing our feet just a little bit. Hands to heart center. That's not right. Hands to the hips. As we inhale, shoulders back and down, crown of the head towards the ceiling. And maybe we even look up as we show our chest towards the ceiling. Good. As we exhale, sticking the bottom out behind us, folding forwards until we can't fold anymore with a straight back. When you get to that point, allow the hands to lower down towards the mat or towards the ground. We're just going to hang out here. Let the head be heavy. Typically, we're looking through the legs up to the ceiling behind us. So it's like a diagonal line. So just breathing in, breathing out. And just letting your body feel that stretch as it needs to. Any wiggles you need to find, please do. Good, 2 more breaths. Good, as you inhale, I'd like you to bring those fingertips towards the top of the mat if you haven't already. And inhale, rise up onto the tips as we look towards the front. So we're looking directly ahead of us. As you exhale, lower back down, bring the hands to the hips and inhale, rise nice and powerfully and strong all the way back up. 3-part breath exit. The reason we do this is to try and encourage us to not faint, basically. So we're going to bring those feet back together, heel-toeing them all the way back. And we're going to come to eagle from here. So you can do just the legs, you can do just the arms, or you can try and do both together. It's completely up to you. The weight's going to go firstly into that left foot. As we inhale, I'd like to bring hands to heart center and bring that right knee up towards the ceiling. Bend through the left leg as we cross the knee over the top as if we're just sitting cross-legged on a chair. Then maybe we can turn the left or right foot, all the way around the back. I'm so bad at lefts and rights, and it's when I cross my legs over, I can't remember which one's which. So trying to hook the foot round the back of the left leg. And the deeper you sink as a tip, the deeper you sink back, usually the more stable you'll feel. So the more you bend into your chair pose, hopefully the sturdier you become. Now we can stay here, really feeling that squeeze of those legs together. Or if we want to come into eagle arms as well, I'd like you to take the right arm, crossing it over to the left side of the room, and then take the left arm over the top, crossing it towards the right. Bend through the elbows and give yourself a high five. Breathing in, breathing out. We're gazing typically straight through those hands directly in front of us. This is all we're going to do. One more breath. Good. As we next inhale, lengthen through the legs, uncross them and release those arms. And if you're like me, getting a bit of a foot cramp, just give yourself whatever wiggles you need to in that left foot. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Okay, weight goes into that left foot now, or right foot, sorry. Again, messing up. Right foot here. As we inhale, we're bringing that left knee towards the ceiling, hands to heart center. Good. Okay. Sink back into that right hip as we send the left leg over the top and maybe even wrap the foot around the back of the right leg. Really squeezing those legs together and sinking down as much as you can into your chair. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, maybe this is where we stay, or perhaps we take the left arm, crossing it to the right, and take the right arm over the top, making a nice big cross. Bend through the elbows, high five. Yeah, again, the gaze is straight through those hands. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, 2 more breaths. Good, inhale, we lift and lengthen, uncross the legs, release the arms, shake it out.
Whatever you need in the body, if you need to grab a drink, feel free to. Nice. Okay, so we can either turn towards the top of the mat again or stay where you are if you've got lots of space nearby. If you're finding it a bit hard to balance, if you're like me, you've got 2 mats and a carpet in the way, it can be quite hard to feel a grip and there's lots of movement happening. So if you need to step off of the mat and do this balance work there, you're welcome to. So we're going to transfer the weight again to the left foot. As we inhale, I'd like you to bring the right knee up towards the sky again, and then take the right hand and try and wrap it around your big toe. So we're wrapping the index finger and middle finger and thumb around the big toe, creating a nice loop. Left hand can come to the hip, and maybe this is where we stay. Maybe you can inhale, try and lengthen that leg away from you. If we keep a bent knee, that's fine. Just try and lengthen the leg away. Breathing in, breathing out. See if you can open up the right leg to the right side of the room, keeping the hips pointing towards the top. Finding your focal point so you don't fall over. Good. Inhale, leg comes all the way back to center. See if you can switch those hands over so the left hand grabs onto the right toes now. Right hand to the right hip. Then slowly scoop the leg over towards the left side. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Inhale all the way back. So we're going to keep holding on to the toes with our left hand and see if you can take the right hand, scooping it around to the back of the room. And maybe the gaze follows as we look over the right shoulder. Good. One more breath. Inhale, head comes all the way to the front, bend through the leg, release the hands, release the foot, and give the left leg a bit of a break. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a cramp in just my left foot today. Real bad cramps. So if that happens, give yourself the break you need and stretch it out. Okay, let's switch to the other side now. So the weight's going to go into that right leg. As we inhale, bring the left knee to the ceiling, hands to heart center. Good, so finding your focal point again. I'm trying to find one that's not moving around. There we go, found something. Okay, as we inhale, scoop the left hand around the left big toes. We're taking the index finger, middle finger and thumb, creating our little loop today. Right hand to the hip, breathe in, and out. Also option if you want to take the right arm out nice and long, that's fine to do too. I just find it easier keeping my hands closer to my body. So as we inhale, we're trying to lengthen that left leg away. Again, if it's really bent, that's fine. Just finding that little push and pull sensation in the body. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. As we inhale, open up the leg to the left side of the room. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale all the way back, we go to center. If you can, switch the hands over. Good. Left hand wherever you need it to be, before drawing the leg over towards the right. Now you might have a side that feels really easy today and a side that feels a bit tougher. For me, this side feels real tough right now. Good. Inhale all the way back to center. See if you can keep hold of it with that right hand. And send the left arm to the back of the room, coming to a twist. Maybe looking over the left shoulder towards the hand behind you. Good. Inhale, head comes back to center. Release the leg, release the arms, and shake it out. So when we turn our gaze from where we've been focusing on, if we turn to look a different way, that really challenges our balance because your eyesight can make such a difference to your balance. So if you want to have a play with that moving forwards, maybe closing the eyes when you're in balances, it can make such a difference. Perfect. So if you have cramp, walk it out. If you want to grab a drink, now's the time. But when you're ready, we're going to head down towards the ground. So coming to the top of your mat, I'm just going to spread mine out. Feet about hip width wide. We're going to do a short vinyasa down to the ground. As you inhale, scoop hands up overhead, looking to fingertips. Exhale, prayer hands, swan dive, folding forwards. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards, hands to the mat, step, hop, jump back to your plank. Option to lower knees down here. We're going to bring the right leg to the outside of the right hand. Good. Option again to lower the knee down here. So we're now in our lizard lunge, and we might stay here. This might already feel really intense for us in those hips. Or maybe we would like to lower down onto our forearms. Maybe we'd like to tuck the back toes under and lift the knee up off the ground. Maybe we want to do something else entirely. And if that's the case, just listen to your body and do what your body's wanting from you. We're just breathing in, and we're breathing out today. So letting those hips open up a little bit more. Good, let's take 3 more breaths. If you need to adjust, adjust. Okay, so if the back knee is lifted, lower it back down to the mat. If you're on your forearms, walk yourself back up onto those hands. As you inhale, I'd like you to bring that right leg all the way back to join the left one. Maybe have a little bit of a sway here in those hips if you need it. And when you're ready, we're going to switch over to the left foot. It's going to come to the outside of the left hand. We're going to do exactly the same here. So if you wanted to tuck the back toes under, tuck them under. If you want to lower down onto the forearms, lower down. If you want to do something else, do something else. We're just breathing in, breathing out. And letting the breath get nice and deep and long and slow. And all the other lovely words we can use to describe our breath. Maybe we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Or maybe like me, you're enjoying breathing out through the mouth today. That's fine. Good, 3 more breaths. Last one. Good, as you inhale, slowly walk that left leg all the way to the back of the mat. And take a few sways here if you need to, adjusting whatever parts of the body you want. Maybe give your wrists a bit of love here. We've used them quite a bit today, but not done anything to really stretch them out. So feel free to have a little bit of a play here too. Just breathing in, and we're breathing out. Good. Okay, so when you're ready to, if you've got a hard floor nearby, you might want to turn like I'm going to do. Just so you've got the mat or something underneath you that's comfortable. So if you need to move, now's the time just to turn to look towards the camera. So you've got the long width of your mat. We're just going to come to a kneeling position. We're going to come to a variation of half a frog today, and then I'll give you the option to go into full frog if you need to. Now, this is a new movement that I don't think we've done before in this series. I'm trying to remember everything I've taught you so far. So I will talk you through it, don't worry. We're going to start with stretching out the right leg first. And basically, you're just going to stay kind of kneeling here, but just folding forwards. And the right leg's going to do something a bit funky. So what I'd like you to do is just walk forwards onto those fingertips and lift the bottom up off of the heels. Slowly slide the right leg towards the right side of the room. And we can do a straight leg for now. If you want to do straight leg stretching instead, you can. But if you'd like to join me in half frog, we're going to bend through the knee and allow the back leg to kind of form a 90 degree from the knee down to the ankle. And the foot's going to point towards the right side of the mat or the right side of the room. So it's pointing out. So we're creating lots of 90 degrees. Then what I'd like you to do is just lower forwards onto the forearms. Now, if like me, you're not feeling anything yet, just take a moment to have a look to see where your knee is in comparison to your hip. If it's too far forwards, you might not feel anything. So just take it, so we're trying to make ourselves 90 degrees from the ankle to the knee, from the knee to the hip, and then sink forwards there. And if you're still not feeling anything, really try to lift the bottom up off of the heels and sink it towards the back of the room. So you're actively pushing back as we're lowering down. Now, you might be feeling it in the left hip, you might be feeling it in the right, but we're trying to sink down. If you need to adjust it a little bit, feel free to take the knee a little bit wider out. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Good, as you inhale, rise back up onto the fingertips and lower the bottom towards the heel as we slide the right leg back in. Good, have a little wiggle here if you fancy. We're going to do the same on the other side. So transfer the weight to the fingertips as we lift the bottom up off of the heels. Extend that left leg nice and long. And again, option to just take the leg long and sink the bottom towards the heel. Otherwise, we're bending through that left knee and trying to create our angles through the foot and ankle, the knee and the hip. And then sinking back into our frog. Now again, if you need to adjust yourself in any way, please feel free to. We're just breathing in and we're breathing out. Good, feeling that bottom pushing towards the back. So use those arms to really push back. You want that feeling of stretching in those hips. Good, 2 more breaths. Lovely. Okay, when you're ready, inhale back up onto the fingertips and sliding that left leg in. So you can do the same again on one or both sides if you fancy. But if you want to come into full frog with me, you're welcome to do so. So in order to do that, we're just rocking forwards onto the fingertips again and slowly walk the knees out side to side until you can't walk them out anymore. Then turn the feet towards the edges of the mat and then check the alignment again. We again want those nice 90-degree angles. And you might already be feeling it massively just being on the hands here. If that's the case, stay where you are. If you want to go a bit deeper, lower into those forearms and actively push the hips towards the back of the room. If you're still not feeling it, see if you can walk the knees out that little bit more and then come to a place that feels okay for you. If it's too much, come back in. And the way to do that is bring the toes back towards each other, touching at the back of the mat, and then sink the bottom towards it, as if we're coming into a wide leg child's pose. So breathing in, breathing out. We're going to take 2 more breaths if you are happy here today. It's quite an intense pose, so not staying here too long. Last breath. Good. As you inhale, I'd like you to bring the toes together as if they're trying to touch and walk yourself back. Slowly bring those knees back together. Good, guys. Perfect. So just noticing how it's feeling for you. It's a really intense pose, especially if you're not used to stretching out the inside of your hips like that. But hopefully it was a good stretch for you. So we're going to move on to a slightly different movement now. So we normally do pigeon with one leg at the top of the mat and one towards the back. But I'd like to try doing double pigeon with you today. Again, it's a very intense one, so if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. It's okay to give it a miss. And if you want to come to normal pigeon, you're welcome to. So for those that do potentially want to move to normal pigeon, I'll just demonstrate what that is for you. So you have one knee towards the top of the mat and the foot towards the outer edge of the mat. And the back leg is straight towards the back of the mat. And we can stay here or fold forwards. And make sure you do the other leg too. Now for those that want to try this new double pigeon movement, we're going to start by tucking the left leg at the bottom. And we're going to have the foot nice and flexed, so we're supporting the ankle and the knee. Then I'd like you to take the right leg and cross it over the top if you can. And the foot, again, is flexed. This really encourages the muscles to support the ankles, the knees, and the hips, rather than relying on the bones and joints to, I don't know, I want to use the word grind. That's a horrible imagery. But yeah, you get the picture, guys. So we're flexing the feet to try and support our body as best as we can. And maybe for you, your double pigeon is a bit like this today. That's fine. Just feel that stretch where you need to be feeling it. But over time, we're going to find flexibility in those hips where we can comfortably come to a position where the ankles, the feet, and the knees are all touching. So if you're happy where you are, please feel free to stay up nice and tall. But if you want to go a step further, take the fingertips to either side of the hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, gently fold forwards until you can feel it in a slightly different way. Maybe that's in the glutes, maybe it's the back, maybe it's the legs. I want to say knees, but that's not where we want to be feeling it. We want to be feeling it in the legs. If you're feeling it almost burning in those knees, please come out of it. So we don't want pain. Burning is equal to pain. We want that stretching feeling. And you guys will know the difference. You know a pain feeling and you know a beneficial stretch. So just listen to the body, and if it hurts at any point, don't do it. It's okay. One more breath. And inhale, slowly lift all the way back up. Right, so keeping the legs where they are, I'd like you to give your right leg a nice big hug, and we're going to cradle it as if it was a baby. Just holding on to it like a baby. And if you want to sing a lullaby to it, like I tell some of my students to, you're welcome to. Anything at all. I think Rockabye Baby is quite a nice one to do here. Okay, one more breath. And when you're ready, exhale, gently release the foot to the mat. We're going to switch it over. So the right leg's going to come underneath first. We're going to create a nice parallel shin to the top of the mat, or the edge of the mat. And then we're going to take the left ankle over the top. Again, flexing the feet. We want to support our bones and muscles, not dumping into them. So we're going to inhale, lift and lengthen. And if you stay where you are, perfect. Just enjoy the stretch for what it is for you today. If you want to go further, take those fingertips either side of those hips. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, gently fold forwards. Come to a place that feels good. And if you want to adjust the hands in any way, you're welcome to. So just breathing in and breathing out. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. 1 more. Just noticing how it feels for you today. And inhale, come all the way back up. Grab onto that left leg now, cradling it like a baby. And if you want to sing a different nursery rhyme or a lullaby, you're welcome to do so. Maybe you just want to look at the feet and notice that you really need a pedicure or some TLC. Grab out that foot cream later. Okay, when you're ready to exhale, slowly lower that foot back down to the mat. Extend those legs nice and long and give yourself a nice little shake or any little massages that your body's needing from you. Good. Okie dokie. So when we're ready to, we're going to come to the last few stretches of our sequence. So we're going to finish kind of being upright in cow face legs and then Baddha Konasana. Now we're going to take the left leg underneath first again and crossing the right leg over the top. And I want those knees to be central now. So crossing the knees over the top of each other. And if again your cow face legs looks more like this, but you're still feeling the stretch in the glutes and the back, perfect. So we're just going to inhale, lift and lengthen. Fingertips either side of the feet, in front, behind, up to you. We're just going to grow nice and tall. And maybe we stay here today. Or perhaps we exhale, slowly folding forwards, trying to keep a straight spine and letting the head get heavy when we can't fold forwards anymore. So just breathing in and we're breathing out. Maybe the hands stay where they are. Maybe they move towards the top of the mat or somewhere else they need to be today. And breathing in and breathing out. Good, 2 more breaths. Maybe the eyes are closed now as you're tuning into your body. Good, as you next inhale, gently peeling yourself all the way back up to seated. Uncross the legs and let's switch them over the opposite way. So right leg comes underneath, left leg over the top. Good. Maybe we sit up tall again in this pose on this side. Maybe we take the hands in front of the feet, behind the feet, and just stay here. Maybe we inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, gently fold forwards until we can't fold anymore. Really letting those hips try and stay flat on the mat if we can. Then letting the head get heavy, maybe adjusting the arms wherever they need to go for you today. And breathe. Noticing where you are feeling your stretch. Is it in the glutes and hip area? Is it the lower back? Is it somewhere else entirely in your body? But wherever it is, just taking the few breaths that we have left here to really tune in. Breathe into that space and try and melt any tension or any sort of stretching feeling you're getting, just melting it away. Just relaxing, breathing for 2 more rounds of breath. Good, okay, as you next inhale, gently peeling yourself all the way back up to seated, lovely and tall. Let's uncross the legs and we're going to finish today in our Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet touching, knees nice and wide. Grabbing onto the ankles, the calves, the arches. My brain's still in bed today, guys. The arches or the toes, wherever your body needs you to go, let's go there. We're just going to sit up nice and tall and maybe this is where we stay today. Or maybe as you exhale, you begin to bend through those elbows to allow yourself to fold forwards a bit more. Maybe we stay here. Maybe we continue to fold forwards. Maybe it's slightly rounding through the spine to bring the head towards the feet. Maybe we keep hugging onto our feet wherever we've grabbed them from. Or maybe we thread them underneath those calves and shins so they point towards the top of the mat, palms to the ceiling. And then just get heavy here, relaxing, releasing. We're going to take a good few rounds here as this is our finishing pose before we come to a very short meditation today. So letting the head get heavy, closing the eyes, and focus on your breath. Adjusting yourself as much as you need to get really comfy here. We're just breathing in and breathing out. Good, so we're going to take 2 more breaths today. And when you're ready to, gently inhale, peeling all the way back up to seated, lovely and tall. Now you can choose to have your meditation here in your Baddha Konasana. You can choose to come to our easy seated pose. You can choose to lie down on your back. You can grab onto pillows, blankets, warm clothing. You can lean up against the wall. I really don't mind. What I'd like you to do is just get to a place that is comfy for you, where you can purely focus in on the breath, in on how your hips are feeling, and just notice what's happening in your body. So when you get to a place that does feel comfy for you, closing the eyes and carrying on with our deep breathing today. In through the nose and out through the nose. Good. Now you can choose to continue breathing at your own pace, whatever your body needs from you. But if you'd like to join me in the counting breath today, you're welcome to do so. So I'm going to guide you to breathe in for 4 and out for 6 today. So if you need to breathe out for longer or adjust it for you, please feel free to. So as you inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just keep breathing in and breathing out. And if you want to keep that rhythm going, please feel free to. If you need to bring it up to breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 7, breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 8, you're welcome to do so. So just keep allowing your body to adjust to what you need it to be today. We're just breathing in, breathing out. And maybe eventually we come to a place where we just let the natural rhythm take over. And just notice how that feels for you. Are we feeling calm? Are we feeling open? Are we feeling like tension's been released in our body? What are you feeling here today? Maybe there's a word or a sentence or a body part that just really wants your attention to let you know that that's what's been worked on today. Maybe there's a particular emotion, a color, a sensation, an image in your mind's eye that describes to you how your practice has been today. We're just breathing in and we're breathing out and just seeing what comes to us now. Maybe we're feeling like we are really ready to just chill out for the rest of the day. Maybe we're feeling really energized, really open, really... Sometimes there's a sensation of almost love, of acceptance, of warmth when you work on places that tend to be known for a lot of tension and emotions. So maybe you're feeling that way today. Sometimes when we work on areas where we do hold that tension and the emotions, it can go the opposite way. So you might be feeling quite exposed or vulnerable right now. If that's the case, that's fine, but just notice where you are. So anything that you might be feeling, any thoughts that might be happening are totally okay. Just be aware of them. So breathing in and breathing out. You're going to take a few more breaths just to let your body press save on everything you've done today. Good. Okay, so when you're ready to start bringing awareness back into the body, take a nice deep breath in, a long slow breath out, and begin to wiggle those fingertips and the toes. And when you're ready to slowly let that movement spread all over the body until you can blink the eyes open. Hands come to heart center in prayer when you're ready to. Thank you very much for joining me for our hip Vinyasa flow sequence today. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, eat well, drink well, and sleep well. Namaste.